Could you have used some tips for living together during the pandemic? And did you ever need 5 minutes, just 5 minutes more? Here are two poems by Kyoko Heshiimu.
My dad said this one is not a poem. And so as a, not a kickback, but as a rebellious thing, sort of, I made it a poem because he said it reads more like comedy, like if I'm doing a comedy sketch. There was when the pandemic, when we first were quarantined and everybody was rushing around for milk and stuff like that and toilet paper. And so I wrote this. It's called Tips for Living Together During a Pandemic. Number 1, don't forget the milk. Yeah, it's simple, but when you're talking about trying to enter stores less frequently, not forgetting the milk is on the top of the list. No milk means I will just have to send him back out to forage. But men like to hunt, right? He will be camouflaged in a sea of masked hunters foraging for food in the concrete jungle. Number 2, put the toilet seat up. Is it boredom? Or do the men of the house purposely aim for the sides of the seat and not the center? I am wasting paper, wiping the lid instead of my lady bits. The stores already had a shortage of tissue when things started. I'm beginning to understand the need to stock up. Number 3, chew with your mouth closed. The noise in the house has been amplified since we've been forced into lockdown. Teeth grinding against teeth. Might as well be metal. I look at him and how proud he is, that he has made a meal without being asked. But the crunching is grinding into my ears like a drill. Twisting. Have you ever smiled so big that your teeth tightens so your jaw feels like it is like it will crush one another? That is how I am staring at him. Number 4, be a bit romantic. No, sex is not romance. Our hands are being washed raw, but our bodies have been neglected. We have paced back and forth so many times in these small walls, it's like we ran a marathon. And let me just tell you, showering together goes a long way. I now consider it foreplay. Number 5, talk. It's lonely being immersed in the isolation caused by the pandemic. The air holds silence in its grip, and I need you to speak. Number 6, actually, don't talk. It's just going to lead to a fight, a petty one at that, about you forgetting the milk and leaving the toilet seat up again, and this food smacking in your mouth as you talk to me. Why must you eat while we talk? Why are we never romantic anymore? I place my hand on his arm and look up at him, worry flooding through both our eyes. And this leads me to the last rule. What do you want to eat for dinner tonight? Number 7, always feed a hungry man. It stops them from arguing. There was an open mic at the library, and I wrote it right before going because the kids were allowed to read poems that they wrote. Yeah. And they were like, I don't know how to write a poem. I don't know how to write a poem. I was like, I could show you how to write a poem. This is how you write a poem. And I just started showing them basically like, this is what you're doing right now. I'm going to write it. I'm just going to put it poetically. And so they got poems right before we had to leave by me writing this poem. It was my way of teaching them how to write a poem, you know, just how to use what's going on in their life, in the moment, you know, so that they would have something to read. And it was the first time that they read a poem in public.
Wow.
Yeah. 5 minutes. All I need is 5 minutes. Can I get 5 minutes? Yet 5 is narrowed down to none as I slip off the bed, my feet touching the grains in the curl of the rug. My eyes are droopy. The bags under my eyes are starting to sink into a depression. I pull my tired from my expression and head out into the living space. Wildness is child, and she is rushing to me with hugs I am not ready to receive. I just need 5 minutes. She needs immediate attention I have failed to give. the thuds of her heavy foot, two mismatched shoes, as she swirls around in the space between us and the couch. I am her barrier, the cans and cannots. I am tired and just need 5 minutes to listen to my breath as I inhale, the day's to-dos, and exhale through my constricted lungs. So tight I feel like I am always fighting for air. She cries, early morning tears trickling down her face, begging for her mama hugs, while I'm exhausted, 4 hours of sleep, one ear towards the sound of kids' resting snores. 5 minutes I need to gather in the moment of me so I can clutch to the woman I am outside of mama.
Thank you so much.